Good morning, Cowboy Jim. Whoa, I think she's up and running. Just had just an absolutely wonderful day so far. Woke up at 4:30 and waited for my alarm to go off at 4:40 and got up and got this day started. And I'm looking around at my little apartment. I had a lady come yesterday, and she is one hard working woman, unbelievable. And she there's something on the screen. I don't have a clue what that means. But anyways, she just did an extraordinary job of whoa, that's going, that's good, of tidying my little place up. And I mean, the fridge and the stove and the microwave, oh, and the washroom. It's called a water closet if you're from the British Isles, meaning Ireland or Scotland. But nonetheless, um, got all my ducks in a row and made my coffee. And dear lady had unplugged my coffee pot, and I thought, boy, that coffee's not smelling very good. And then I filled my thermos without realizing that it was with cold coffee, which isn't a bad idea if you have a double double. But anyways, I resurrected the connection and made another pot of coffee and headed outside for my morning sabbatical and had my smoke and came in, did all those things that you do to get ready because today I was headed to a different mine where I'm going to get to run a hoe for the winter. Oh, excited about that. And made a phone call, figured out what bus I was supposed to be taking, and well, incidentally, it turned out to be the wrong bus, but nonetheless, I got to where I was going, and and walked in the front doors of this mine, which will go unnamed. I looked over. There's a Tim Hortons right in the blessed foyer. Walked over, almost stepped in line, and then I realized the group of people, 50, 60, 70 people, a lot. Anyways, I went and got in the line. And I thought, well, I'm going to get a coffee. And while I was in the line, I started making some calls and asking, how in the world do I get over to another little part of the mine where hopefully I had a little tiny 349 cat hoe waiting for me. And I, I was in the wrong, I was in the right mine, but I was in the wrong part of it. And we got that figured out. And oh, I have the best supervisor in the world. You may well have watched the video. My supervisor's 11-year-old son. It's back about 10 or so, and and that man is a good man. And he said, Jim, you're a day early. And he said, you're not even supposed to be in this mine. You're another one. Well, the other one where I was at, they decided that I was getting sent down there. Anyways, I said, listen, my brother, I don't need the money. Hey, I don't work for money. I work for the privilege and the honor of being available to my creator to encourage someone. Sounds a bit corny, doesn't it? Well, may sound corny, but it's what I do. It's my choice. Yours if you choose, but nonetheless. I said, well, I'm just going to get a coffee. And, well, I had my lunch all packed. I have to put it in the fridge now for tomorrow. And, uh, and got my coffee, and some real helpful people in the lineup suggested that perhaps I could take a different bus tomorrow. I thought, hey, I can change. Don't like it, but I can. And And I was, my wonderful supervisor said, Jim, you just go home and you have a good day today, and you come back tomorrow, and we'll have something for you to do. And I thought, hey, I'm down with that. I'm cool with that. I got up. I'm 73 years old. I still feel like 40. Oh, I don't understand that, children. But I truly feel like 40 years old. There's a saying that I've used quite often, but my sisters assure me that they listen now and again to my YouTube stuff, so I won't talk about being, I won't talk about that. No, yeah, yes, hurts. I should, but nonetheless. So, hey, uh, grabbed my coffee and I asked someone what time's the next bus back to Fort Mac, and they told me, and I thought I plenty of time, and so I headed over to check out, and I'm looking at this young man as I was about to use my card to get out of the confines of the main area, and Tim Hortons, oh, good coffee, children, and I looked at him. I said, "My brother," I said, "I admire how you run a dozer." He said, "Thank you." He and I had worked together in the mine further north, and oh my goodness, that child. He didn't have much for facial hair, but let me tell you, he could run a dozer, and oh, it was so good. And I talked to 2 or 3 or 20 other people, made my way through the gate and headed out towards the bus, and I headed down the line, and someone said you need to be on 10 or something, Route 10. And I thought, okay, I'll just work down through, and came to the only driver I could see. So I just stepped up to the door and I said, I live in Cornwall Drive. I said, "Is there any way you can tell me which blessed bus to get on?" He said, "Yeah, helpful guy, Ethiopian, I think, but good guy." And he and I walked down the row and came to the last bus on the left, or others on the right, but 15 buses altogether. And stepped over to the door, and the guy opened the door. I said, "Oh, my brother." Bus driver, he says, "Oh, I know you." And it's really funny. I spoke to a bus driver one day, and we talked as as we should talk, and he said, "Cowboy Jim, I told my wife about you." I said, "Oh, that's so kind." He said, "It's really funny." I asked her, I said, "Have you watched Cowboy Jim on YouTube?" She said, "You mean Cowboy Jim?" He said, "Yes." She said, "I've been watching him for a long time." She hadn't told him. And oh, it was such a treat, and so on. But the guy behind the wheel this time was a wonderful chap who looked out for me several times, and a whole lot actually, working my way trying to get on the right bus to head to the right destination. And he said, "No, you have to cross over to the number 10 or whatever." And so I did, and climbed on that bus. A little lady, she says, I said, you going to Cornwall?" And she says, "Yeah." I said, "Well, I'd like to hitch a ride." She says, "Well, it depends on how much money you have," and that sort of thing, you know. She just joking around. And so I thanked her, and I headed a couple of seats back, and I looked into the face of a handsome man. And I said, "My brother." He said, "Did you have a good birthday?" I said, "Yes, I did." I talked to him sometime. I don't have a clue when. Doesn't matter. He's a good man. We had a wonderful visit, and we're headed back to Fort Mac. And I thought, uh, I'm alive. I'm glad of it. I thought, I'll just go home and make some videos. Might as well. Can't dance. Hey, there's no place to dance up here. And I don't know that I've been in a single place that play country music, that plays country music. Because I only know how to do a two-step poorly, but I do. Anyways, misspent youth. Wasn't just reading my King James Bible and the Webster's Dictionary back in the 60s and the 50s. It was listening to country music. My grandson's name is Cole Martin. He's a country music recording artist and he is so good. So I've wandered around quite a bit so far in this morning epilogue or diatribe, depending on how you look at it, and that's very good. So let's just sum this up and then I'll finish my coffee and see what else my creator has in store for me today. And I think that'll be a few more videos. Kind of miss not making videos, children. I hope this thing is working here. Golly. So, you got up today. Are you happy? Do you wish you could have stayed sleeping? I don't like that. I don't do that. I want to live. I've said for quite a while you're going to live till you die. Only you can determine the eternal destiny of the fulfillment of the desire of your heart in terms of how you live, what you do with it, whether you learn or whether you choose not to. But, anyways, I haven't said a blessed thing thus far, except you start your day, it may not turn out as you had hoped, but in that it turns out, that's pretty good. It's pretty good, children. Well, I'm just going to shut this down. And moral, I hope I get on the right bus. If not, I'll still have a lot of fun. God bless you. Be nice. Won't kill you. Well, it might not. God bless.